Welcome to the fifth video on the series Philosophy of Research. In this video and the upcoming video, we'll be taking up validity in research. Validity is a very important concept, and as a researcher, you might have heard this concept time and again, and mostly with reliability and validity. So what is validity and what is the plan, how we are going to cover it? In this video we will be primarily covering about what is validity and the planes of theory and observation. The four different kinds of validity, as you could see in this slide, would be covered in the next video. So let's talk about validity first. What is validity? I must say validity has something to do with Christopher Columbus. Yes, Columbus started his voyage in order to search, in order to reach India, but what he discovered was US. So actually his voyage was right. He discovered some country, so no doubt about it, but whatever he discovered was not India. So research scholars, this is where validity becomes important. So why I am starting with this example is simply because whatever methods you will use, whatever measures, instrument, survey, forms or interviews, whatever things you are going to deploy in order to complete your research study will have a bearing on where you will reach, right? So that is why validity is all about simple thing. It's about asking what I started with, what was my original intention, what was my original interest, and what I ended up measuring. So if both the things are same, then you could say that yes, your measure led you to valid conclusions, right? So that is where validity comes into picture. So you want to measure height and you end up measuring weight is invalid, right? So best available approximation to the truth. You must also remember that measures, samples, and sample designs don't have validity. So people very often they use that this is a valid measure or my sample is valid, but technically they are incorrect. It is incorrect to say like that, because measures are measures, sample designs are sample designs. There is no validity attached to them. Validity is only about propositions, that is to say inferences or conclusions. So statements, inferences, conclusions, though they could be valid or invalid. Your conclusions, your inferences, whatever you draw, that could be valid or invalid. They could be, your measures lead to them. So technically one should say that a measure leads to valid conclusion or a sample enables valid inference. That's perfect. But how about calling it? It would not be justified, it would not be right to call a sample a valid sample or a measure a valid measure. Okay, right. So the next one is validity in research. So let's talk about some important points. Research is a quest, and in any quest you have to make a lot of different assumptions, inferences, conclusions while traveling the path of research, and many of them assumptions are simply related to the process of doing research, and they are no way belong to hypothesis. They are not the major hypothesis of the study. Hypotheses are also assumptions, right? But they are assumptions which you want to test, which you want to which has a direct bearing to the conclusion of your study. So you have your cause, you have your effect, and then you hypothesize. But understand, in order to prove or disprove any study or relationship, you first have to ensure that you are traveling the right path. So that is to do with the process of doing research correctly. So many a times lot of assumptions, inferences are available which researcher actually subscribes to, but they are not the major hypothesis of the study. They just work in the background. So no matter what a researcher measures or observes, they are concerned with, every time the researcher wants to be sure about whether they are measuring what they intend to measure. So that is something which is where validity comes into picture. So in one line, if you have to make an inference about validity, why validity? Because validity is related with quality of your measure. So quality of study, how would you differentiate, let's say, one research study and another research study? It is actually the validity aspect. If this is high on validity aspect, the quality of research would be high, right? Whereas, so we have to locate from that position. So validity is conclusions researcher make about the quality of different parts of research methodology. So something which addresses methodological questions, and there are 4 methodological questions which validity tries to address, and accordingly there are 4 types of validity. Okay, so 4 methodological questions and 4 types of validity, we will talk about it. But let's begin with 2 plane of theory and observation, and this is where we can understand what the validity is and how it comes into picture. So let's say you have something in your mind, and you say that I want to measure, let's say, self-esteem, and self-esteem you wish to measure. But self-esteem is something which is not precisely defined. It is not simple to define what is self-esteem. So definitely, and if I relate it with some, let's say, some effect construct, that high on self-esteem are successful people. So again, high self-esteem leads to success in life, is how we are relating this. But if we want to test it, so something which is self-esteem is abstract, right? It says it's just an idea into the researcher's head. When he tries to transform, when he tries to bring this on the table of reality, he transforms this self-esteem construct into a questionnaire or set of questions. So maybe when the researcher is making questionnaire, he is actually translating his abstraction into reality. So the same thing is happening. Cause construct, so something which was abstract, which was there in the head of the researcher, is now very much available in public domain. So looking at, let's say, 4 or 5 statements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, people can actually understand what is meant by self-esteem. And similarly, what is success, you can say 1 2 3 4 5. If you have all these things, you are a successful person. So if this is the case, so something which is just an idea, what you think, cause construct, and what is effect construct, cause effect construct. You operationalize, you arrive at a program or intervention, your tool, what you do, and as a result of that program you arrive at certain result which you observe. So one way is to begin with that yes, my cause and effect are related, they are causally related. So is there a relationship between two? The answer to this question could be two. There could be some relation or there could be no relation. And let's begin with relationship, that yes, there is a relationship between two, that cause is related with effect, right? But cause and if construct and effect construct are related doesn't mean that cause is causing this effect. Okay, there could be some underlying cause which is responsible for both. So you say your program and observations are related. High score this side means high score that side, so they seems to be related. But whether your program has actually resulted in observation is something which you want to test. So how you could arrive at, and this is where validity will come into picture. So you have your two kind of validity, conclusion and internal validity, belonging to this plane, whereas construct and external validity belong to the upper plane or the plane of theory. Okay, so let's try to understand, and these validity builds upon one another. So you start with conclusion, then you move to internal, and then you move to construct, and then you move to external. Not to worry, we will take up in the next video. So try understanding that in the world of research we are constantly back and forth jumping from plane of theory and plane of observation, again going back to theory. So this back and forth jump, right, you are it's about discovering relationship and discovering relationship to actually arriving at the real relationship, like okay, that yes, it's not just there is some kind of association or some kind of there are strong reasons that this is cause and this is effect, and we could generalize at large. We could, once something becomes law, so from here to here and again going back to here. Okay, so thank you very much. In next video we'll discuss about 4 different validities. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. Thank you.